Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today, to break away from the vlog thing, which will still be out every Monday, we're still going to continue doing that. It's definitely going to be a weekly theme, but today we're going to be playing some 10NL Speed Poker on 888 with hopefully some loose passive players, and we're going to try and play a much more loose, aggressive style than I usually play. Hopefully recreate some of the spots you guys are used to getting in, and hopefully give you some food for thought on how I try and navigate some of the spots that you find yourself in when you're playing what is, in my opinion, possibly close to too many hands. So we're going to be playing like opening as wide as possible from most positions, not silly, just within reasonable like parameters of ranges, and hopefully there'll be some interesting spots. We're going to do it half an hour now. If the video gets well received, gets like lots of likes or comments and things, we'll certainly do it again. But we'll see how it goes. Try to keep the preamble down to a minimum, just to let any of you guys know who are watching, and I know there's some of you guys are out there that are contemplating getting some help with your game. Please do visit my website for a list of how much it costs, and join my Facebook group if you want to chat with me about signing up, or add me to Skype, email me. Lots and lots of ways to get in touch. Please do take one of them. Let's see about the second pair with backdoor equity on a wettish board. Not barreling that particular turn, I don't think, are we? Are we barreling it? Certainly going to 3-bet the A6 suited. And we're not barreling this turn. Two down on table one. I think we have enough showdown value here with the 10. And I'm worried that he might just have a jack that isn't folding. Pocket nines. That is a pretty miserable flop for our A6 suited on table one. We're not going to see bet this board. We completely missed us. We have almost zero equity if we get called, or very little equity if we get called. So we're going to take a free card. Hopefully maybe spike an ace or spike a draw or something. Called 4-bet the ace 10 or suit on table 3 as a bluff. And we get, that is an absurd sizing. It's obviously super trivial fold, but let's just take a moment to enjoy that sizing, which is clearly way too big. It'd be better off just jamming here or clicking it back or something. Making that size just fucking bonkers. It's really poor. It doesn't create the illusion of fold equity. If he clicks it back, for example, it might create an illusion of fold equity, especially if we're a bit deeper. It might induce some spewy jams from me or from his opponents. And if he jams, he might get some loose call downs from like pocket jacks, that type of thing. Ace queen suited, that looks like he's just trying to buy the pot pre-flop. When you choose the sizing he chose, it I think it turns your hand pretty much face up as being uber strong, because it's just not a size you'd expect many people to be using as a bluff. Not that many people have 5-bet bluffing range in these games, but if you are going to 5-bet, then to me you make it incredibly tiny. You click it back or you make it huge. You don't fuck around like 3x 5-betting, if you will, but putting like 60% of your stack in pre-flop, 55 to 60% of your stack, that's just fucking rubbish, and he shouldn't be doing that. And if you're doing it, you shouldn't be doing it either. I was going to isolate with a 9-7, but given that stack size, we'll just muck it. Nope, we're not going as low as 4 or 5 under the gun. We are trying to open wider, but again, try to do it within reasonable parameters. I'm going to let the second pair go on table 3 versus that particular sizing. on a particularly good board for the 10-8 suited. It would be a particularly bad c-bet, given that we have like just 2 overcards and very little else going on. C-bet my gut shot on table 4, of course. Pocket sevens, I wouldn't usually call out of the small blind, but this Darren R is a bit special, and we have a fish in the big blind or a potential fish, so I think the chances of getting squeezed are significantly reduced, which is usually part of the reason why you don't want to call with pocket sevens or small pairs, or just generally have a calling range out of the small blind, is because you will get squeezed a little bit too often. But if you are someone in the big blind who is unknown, not playing with the full stack, the chance of being squeezed reduces significantly. I think we can look to see some flops with people who have the fish tag. I was trying to check down my middle pair on this board on table 3, but I'm looking like we're probably going to lose now, especially if he bets. We're not going to fold versus a 1 big blind. I think in fact we're going to raise. And I think we're going to fold the 7s on that board texture versus that bet size, given that we're not closing the action. We got called on table 1 by ace 10. Seems reasonable. Doesn't seem reasonable that he limped, but it seems reasonable that he calls 3 streets, I guess, once he does limp the ace 10. And pocket 7's kind of annoying because I didn't want to fold, but we're not closing the action. He's bet full pot. And yeah, we have middle pair with like backdoor draws, but we don't want to be setting off calling 9 big blind pot size bets on flops with just middle pair. Seems like it's going to be creating a situation that isn't going to make us any money, especially when we're not closing the action and we're going to be out of position with the rest of the hand. All in all, when you put it all together, it's just like, yeah, it might be ahead, but it's going to be a tough situation on later streets, and we only might be ahead now. So if you only might be ahead and it's going to be tough on later streets, then quite often it's prudent just to fold there and then. Double barreled, we just have 2 5s. Again, I guess there's a small chance we have the best hand if he's like a queen jack or spades or what have you, but nevertheless it's just 2 5s. I don't think we need to be going out of our way to defend versus double barrels in that situation. If he's bluffing, good for him. Sometimes we just have to fold the best hand. We need to see about this board. I guess we have 0 equity, but we have that backdoor and we have a ton of fold equity. We hopefully have a lot. Our range should be stronger than this on this board with it being ace high. Check back the 6. See bet the 10-9. And raise this turn on table 3. I'm not a big fan of the club on the river. Do we shove still though? I think we probably do. Giving up with the 10-9. C-bet in the 10-8 suited. Stacking the ace-jack on table 3. All gravy. Giving up with the 10-8 on the queen turn. Giving up with the 10-9 there. Might overbet this river on table 1 if he checks to us again. I think he would lead a queen into us almost for sure. Get him off some like high cards that Baba's beat and some like pairs. Can have spades, for example, just higher spades than us. Did not expect the call with the ace-10. Okie dokie. And we get an egg thrown at us. I know that player. I know that player. Don't know where from. Could be in the Facebook group. Not sure. Rings a bell. Rings a bell in a way that makes me feel it's friend rather than foe. However, I still think the call was somewhat on the ambitious side with just the ace-10. Nevertheless, it worked out for him. Fair play. Min raise and a min 3-bet. I think the 7-10 can go and whistle there. Three bet in the pocket tens, and as we're deep, we're going to put a bit more juice on it. Pick up a call out. I'm going to check back this flop. Checking back turn on the jack. And now it's, do we thin value bet or do we just take a showdown value? It's going to be hard. We're thinking what hands can call. Maybe. I mean, we've seen ace high call already. Maybe try and get a call from ace queen. Seems thin. Pocket 8s, pocket 9s. Seems too thin to me. I mean, those hands will call probably. Ace queen will probably call. Pocket 9s will probably call. But you can also have lots of Jack X there that wants to call, and maybe even some King X as well. I think it just seemed too thin. Maybe that was being a bit nitty, but nevertheless, too late now. We made our decision, and we're stuck with it. On 6-8 of diamond gets called and then overcalled. Not going to see, but ace king X. These guys between them combined will probably have decent amount of ace X in their ranges, and they won't be for mind to fold it. Seems like a good flop on table 1 in terms of table 2 in terms of us having a lock on the hand. I was about to say it doesn't seem like a good flop in terms of getting paid off, but Maybe we do get paid off here. Did not want the board to pay. Keeping up with the king now. We've tried our c-bet, didn't work out. We're just going to hope this guy doesn't have a full house here and go all in. Please fall for the red line. Fall for the red line. Call for the money, fall for the red line. That is tremendous. That is utterly tremendous. And I guess that's why we sometimes slow play. Just to allow people to continue with whatever bluffs it is that they are firing away with. Had to figure out what bluffs he could have had there. We'll maybe go back and look at that in a moment, see if we can figure out any bluffs that he may have had. Not going to 3-bet bluff versus someone who doesn't have a decent stack size, because they're just not going to fold enough, you wouldn't imagine. Let's go back and look at that one. That was fun. So we now know when he potted flop, potted turn, potted river. Did he? Yeah. Well, maybe slightly overbet. Probably pot when you take the rake out. I just can't imagine what he has that takes that line. Complete able. Maybe just like the naked king of hearts. Maybe. It's hard. It's hard to put him on the range. He's limp call pre-flop. He's just gone pot. 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 Fold. I'm presuming he must have had, so I don't know. But surely he just calls with king jack. He's got like king of hearts with a jack. Maybe surely he just calls for like what's left on the river. Who knows? Answers on a postcard, please. If you don't want to try assigning somebody a sensible range for taking that rather amusing line. Bet the 10s here just to protect against like random lone spades, etc. Get min dunked into on the paired board. Certainly going to see a turn. 5 pairing doesn't really bother me too much. Shouldn't have that much 5x in his range. I wouldn't have thought. I'm going to bet again just to charge spades. We are value owning ourselves against the king. But I do not want to give any free cards to like Queen Jack with the spade or Ace 10 with the spade, something like that. He leads river. We might call here. We might call. We don't block spades, which is nice. And call here to try and play against the pot against the fish. We don't block spades. None of the straight draws got there on the foot that were there. I think we just have to call this. King 9. Okie dokie. Not really sure why he took that line. Donk in the river, but it worked out for him, so more power to his arm. I did say that Darren was a little bit special. Such a dry board, I've been double barreled on it. There's not enough plus in his range, in my opinion, to want to continue here. Not set mining with the 6s. I'm going to go with the big bet on the table 1. Try and rep some missed draws, etc. with our trips. Or chop it up. with the 6-9. No idea what this min 3-bet means from Darren R, but we're going to call it and see what happens. Not much. Not much is going to happen here. We just won there with king. I mean, Darren could just have misclicked pre-flop. Sometimes I would 3-bet bluffy with the 9-7 suited, but this guy's stacked. Don't really just want to have him limp jam pocket pairs and shit and put me in weird spots. Who knows if that was a min 3-bet or not. I haven't got a fucking clue. I haven't got a clue. As I said, Darren is special. Plays a lot, but he's just really quite bad. Presuming he loses money. And we can definitely 3-bet Darren with a 90 for value. It'll be annoying if we get 4-bet, but we can certainly look to 3-bet to isolate for value. I see a turn over here. Look to check raise like any 9, queen, etc. I see about 2 9s. Pretty good chance of the best hand. And looks like we've rivered Turok. And he's called me a name. Didn't do an awful lot to protect his hand though, did he? Not sure that he needs to be so across there. I'm going to check back our 9s against Darren. I hope he doesn't like insta-pot or insta-bet the river, because last time he did that he had some weird random top pair. And he has an insta-bet, which is a good start. 7, there's no straights out there really, is there? 6, 7 got there on the river, I guess. I don't think he has stuff like pocket queens, pocket kings. I think if we're beat, we just lose to a lone jack, I guess. Can he have enough random nonsense? I think we probably have to call here. Don't like it much, paying off these huge bets. Check call or check raise on the other board. Do not like paying off these big bets. What bluffs can he have? See, Darren's, he could just have random overcards here, which is a bit frustrating. Ace deuce. Never mind. Did not put the ace deuce in his range. And we've kind of butchered these pocket 10s because of what was happening with Darren. Tempted to put a raise in here. Tempted to put all of it in. So it will. Snaps me off with the ace king. Fair dues, I suppose. Yeah. Did butcher those 10s because of the hand with Darren. Kind of annoyed because we paid Darren off twice after calling him special, which is kind of irritating. We definitely want to play pots with Darren, don't we? So whether we call the button or whether we 3-bet to isolate again. And I think we're going to go with a 3-bet to isolate and hope this guy doesn't just jam 15 in. Can't really fold the ace-8 offsuit to the bet this size, even though it's pretty shit. Problem here is he knows we probably can't be bluffing given the stack sizes of the other two guys in the hand. We need to be very aware that we are deep here. Obviously going to start with a bet. He calls. Queens isn't the same as like kings and aces here, because I guess he can. I'm finding more people that are slow playing aces and kings pre-flop in certain situations. This deep, maybe not sure people are as much. Can I get 3 streets off my hand, like pocket 10s, pocket jacks? It's kind of all I'm really getting value from at this point, if for 3 streets. I think probably not. I might check back here and just let him sometimes bluff rivers. Or I'll just go for another street of value on the river, because I think we definitely get a call from 10s and jacks on the river here. I mean, I don't like this very much, but given that we check back the turn, it's a super standard call. And of course we lose to the river straight, which probably wasn't folding the turn anyway, so irritating, but never mind. I'm aware that I made the aces 9x and I made ace king 10x earlier. It's not something I'm particularly worried about getting exploited for. Absolutely just calling with the aces here, then just jamming over any c-bet, I guess. I'll take that on table 1. That's why we don't like 3-bet the aces pre, or 4-bet, whatever the fuck it was we could have done. When we're in position, out of position, maybe you just say fuck it and get all the beans in. But in position, I'm absolutely calling there pretty much all the time versus that sizing, and given how the action had gone down. Deuces. Never loses, apparently. Apparently deuces never loses. Kinda don't like paying a full pot size premium to set mine, but that might be the massive inner knit in me. I'm just going to bet 3 times here versus him when he caps his range in this way. Unless he does something to dissuade me. i.e. raising. Checking the king jack in case either of these dudes is just on like a limp raise type line. And again, well, not again, against these pots, against these stack sizes, it makes it kind of awkward if you like raise to 5x or 4x pre-flop and get two callers, then you're left with an SPR like 1.25. Usually when you just fucking missed, and then you're like, right, now what? Other than check fold, and then do you really want to check fold for getting such a good price? Yeah. Just take the free flop and hope to hit. That's usually my strategy there. Not a good flop. Table 2 multi-way. Not going to be continuing. Call his check raise, see some turns on that board texture. Facing the cold 4-bet with the kings. I'm going to call and just check jam any non-ace flop. I'm going to fold the jacks on this turn because I don't fancy being a hero. We're just going to hope this dude doesn't have aces. Blocking ace king pretty hard is not fun. I'm going to hope he has queens here and not two aces. Almost certainly has a big pair of some description. Or some weird bluff, maybe. He's bluffing. That sizing is fucking horrendous, by the way, on the flop. I mean, that sizing is fucking horrendous anyway, but it's particularly horrendous on a board texture like that. Please be slow rolling me now. That'll be funny for the video, I guess. If he's just completely slow rolling the crap out of me with two aces, I'd find it mildly irritating, but at the same time, it would make for good viewing. Ace king. Ambitious. Ambitious. Guess we could just got it all in pre and saved a lot of the drama, but whatever. I mean, maybe I'm just completely overestimating just how fucking rarely people are bluffing. I don't know. Every time I play like a fucking big pot, somebody usually has a reasonably big hand. How often do any of us, maybe against like the complete raging wheels and donkeys, but anyone that's trying to play any kind of reasonable poker, so anyone that's just not basically a total and utter moron, how often are they just actually fucking full on flat out bluffing? I mean, it happens, right? But how often? What are the frequencies? How tight can we be when it comes to like laying down big hands versus really intense pressure? I've got work in the morning. This is part of the reason why we're on Triple Eight, by the way. I've had a fucking ridiculously, well, not busy week. Busy would be the wrong way of putting it, but my schedule's been all over the place. I've done like 2 days work already. Well, one day was a course, another day was work. And I've changed my schedule quite a lot to accommodate England playing really fucking shit in the Ashes. And they weren't starting until like 3:30 a.m, so it didn't help my Sky grind at all this week. Right. Certainly going to bet the Ace-6, Turn and River on table 2. What do we do with the Ace-King? Under the gun opens. We 3-bet. I'm just going to fold. I do not think he's going to be bluffing very often there. Ace-King. I don't want to get Ace-King in pre in that situation. I think we're just setting money on fire and calling and then missing and then folding isn't fun. I mean, they were trying to play a bit looser and a bit more aggressive, but when Under the Gun opens, cut off 3 bets and small blind, called 4 bets. I think we have to give that an awful lot of credit. Anyway, back to why we're on Triple Eight anyway in the first place tonight, is that my schedule this week, the hours I've been keeping, have not been at all conducive to 3-bet the Ace-7 suited here because we're deep. I'm going to make it bigger because we're deep. A lot bit conducive to getting like playing when the traffic on Sky is decent. So we've been doing a little bit, well, not a lot. We just started doing a bit of Triple Eight tonight, and that's why we're doing it. My volume so far this week has been fucking dreadful. Can we call this 3-bet in position, given that we're starting the pot a little bit deep? So with this 4-bet, or do we just fold it because this is almost never a bluff? Yeah, fold it. It's almost never a bluff. We can't talk about how infrequently people are bluffing when they're 4-betting and 5-betting and what have you, and then just start making loose calls with the Ace-7 suited. Say my volume's been fucking rubbish this week. Bit of a spoiler for the blog, or the vlog, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to play Triple Eight for a few days just to try and get some volume in, so there's some content for the vlog basically, because otherwise there'd be nothing. It's be like, didn't play much cricket, see you next week, and that'd be a bit shit. So we're doing this for volume purposes, and also it gives us a chance to make a live play video and gives me a chance to throw a few chips around in a loose manner against players that I expect to have like a pretty chunky edge against. I'll let the Jack-9. Oh no, I didn't mean to let the Jack-9 go. For some reason I thought he had second pair, not top pair. That was a mistake for sure. I was too busy thinking about this 6-4 and do we go for the double barrel or not. Yeah, and we're going to go for a big one as well. I'm going to go for a big one. Yeah, that was definitely a mistake with the Jack-9. For some reason in my head I had second pair on board. And even then, I still think it probably should have been a call. Second time I've kind of not played a hand too well because I've been preoccupied by a hand on another table. Doesn't usually happen when I'm not recording, but when I'm recording and try to talk and sort of think more carefully about what I'm talking about, I can definitely be prone to making some mistakes on the tables that I'm not having the same level of focus on. C-bet bottom pair. Don't have enough showdown value, I don't think so. We may as well start betting with it, getting to fold some equity or what have you. Interesting spot on the turn here on table 3, given that we've turned a raw flush draw, but our opponent doesn't have many chips and we probably don't have much fold equity. do we have enough raw pot equity to just say, fuck it, I'm all in? And maybe sometimes get him off and like pocket whatever. Versus that stack size, we're just going to go for it. Well, yeah, we're going to sit out next blind now and call it a wrap. A little bit of everything in this video. A bit of getting paid off, a little bit of paying off. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and I guess we'll be seeing you again on Monday with the vlog update. There will be some live poker update in the vlog because it's our annual Christmas home game on Friday night. I'm currently sat third in our league for the year, so that if I do well in that home game on Saturday night, I might end up winning the trophy and the league and most of the money, which would all be nice. Can't afford the 10-6 suited to the 3-bet that size. Seems like an interesting flop. Stab ones on the Ace-6-9 rainbow. Just call here with the 10-6 suited. Do we? Do we raise? Do we semi-bluff? I'm actually going to go with the raise. Giving up with the Queen Jack once we get peeled on that dry board. Kind of suck if we got 3-bet here. But I'm happy just taking the pot down now. We have been 3-bet and now we've got a ton of equity in a spot where, oh, I think we have. I mean, against one pair here, we have a ton of equity. He can have the sets. Problem is, he's never folding. Do we just call here, try and hit a 6 or a 10 or a diamond? I think we're just going to call and then maybe fold like a little girl on the turn if we don't improve. Because we're getting like really good odds to improve on the turn. What we got? We got like 3 10s, 2 6s. Now we've got 15 cards to hit on the turn. That isn't one of them. He's going to jam. We're going to fold like a fucking girl. I'm going to end the video on a bit of a low. Probably didn't need to raise the flop. Probably didn't need to raise the flop, but yeah, whatever. Wow, just the old 10x open. I think we can, not tagged anyone yet today, but I think you can have one. Exaroshi, possibly one of my most hated regulars of all time. Just fucks around, fucking nitty as fuck, short stacking like a dick. Yeah, pretty annoying. So we made a straight here. We're going to bet out and hope not to get raised. I hope to get called by someone calling for a chop or whatever. I'm going to fold the King 7 suited. I'm going to be sick if he raises. I think we're going to have to call. But he does just call, so happy days. What did he call with? Pocket aces. Yeah. So there we go. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. There's certainly been lots of talking points. Not saying that we've played the best. Don't think we played the worst. Definitely made some dubious calls, I think. And that 10-6 suit was certainly a dubious raise. But yeah, I've enjoyed myself. Hope you guys have too. We'll be back soon with the vlog on Monday. Bye for now.